Hello, welcome back to my channel. It's been a second since I've last uploaded a video. I hope to God that this is the one, fingers crossed. Inshallah, this is the one that actually makes it out of the editing trenches because the amount of videos that I scrapped in June, atrocious. But hi, welcome back to the channel, or welcome if you're new. I'm Sahra, I'm an aspiring author. I'm currently working on the first draft of an adult fantasy novel that I've nicknamed Project Swan Lake. I love this project. I've waxed poetic about this project, and in today's video I'm going to be attempting to get some forward momentum in this book. We're actually going to be playing catch up in the next couple of videos because I really did fall behind in my writing goals in the month of June, which let's recap June very quickly before we dive into everything. In the month of June, my main priority was my university work because I am also a university student that decided to take summer classes. I decided to torture myself with that. So the last video that I posted, actually I was talking about how they were starting soon. They have now passed, they have now ended. Alhamdulillah, thank goodness. I don't think I would have been able to take much more, honestly. So I have the entire month of July and the first 3 weeks of August off from school. I have nothing, no responsibilities when it comes to university. So I'm switching gears now and putting all of my focus on writing and making that my #1 priority, especially in the month of July because this is my deadline month. I really want to get the first draft of this book done by July 30th, and I'm gonna try my darndest to do that. But as for June, I was taking 4 classes, or sorry, no, I was taking 3 classes. I was originally taking 4 and then I dropped 1 because I realized I actually don't hate myself. I actually kind of like myself. I actually kind of like my peace. Why would I want to disrupt that any further? So I decided to drop it from 4 to 3. So I took 3 classes. Also, the class that I dropped was gonna end in the middle of July instead of earlier in June where all of my other classes ended. So it was just a no-brainer that I was gonna drop it. It was also an accounting class. Hey, why would you do that to me? Very grateful that I'm able to go, but taking an accelerated accounting class in the middle of summer, I don't think so. I don't think so. Thank you though. Thank you so much for the opportunity. Gonna pass though. But yes, I was taking 3 classes. One of them was a spies and espionage class, which I adored that class so much that I'm literally gonna buy the textbook. Like, I have the textbook saved to my cart. I absolutely plan on buying it. That's how much I love that class. It was super interesting, but I finished all my classes on the 18th of June? Yeah, I think so. Somewhere around there. Somewhere from like the 18th to the 20th is when I finished. Yeah. It was actually the 18th. Yes, okay, I was correct. I was right. Finally free from the shackles. Until the last week of August when I have to go back. Ugh. It's okay. You know what? Grateful. Thank you. Yes, I'm so humble, so grateful. But as for writing in June, I didn't get as much work, like actual drafting work done as I wanted. If you've ever seen that one Pinterest quote that's like, some days are typing days, some days are thinking days, but they're both writing days and like they both count. That was basically June for me in terms of writing. I was thinking, I was perceiving, I was percolating on thoughts, I was brainstorming. I was not actually drafting. I was not actually typing words, as many words. I mean, I wrote, I think maybe like 4,000 words total in the month, which is, you know, pretty good, like a pretty good chunk of words, but it wasn't what I was hoping for. I was hoping to add about 30k to the draft, and that very much did not happen. But hindsight is definitely 2020 because looking back on the month, I'm actually really glad and I'm very happy and like satisfied with the work that I did because the ideas that I came up with this month have strengthened the story, and I think it elevated it to a point where I'm so confident in the book now. I feel like I'm growing a lot with this book. I feel like I'm finally getting like an idea of what my actual writing routine and like writing process is. I feel like I'm finally tackling the stories and like exploring the worlds and the characters and the themes and the settings that I actually want to, that I've been too afraid to tackle. And in part that is due to the fact that I was able to write the end on my first book, Project Coffee House, which is a rom-com. I bring it up almost every single video, but that was my first book. That was the one that I actually wrote the end on. I feel like that first book tortured me so much to the point where I was like, I can actually do anything now. I can do everything now. So when I came up with the idea for Project Swan Lake, I was able to just dive into it immediately, no fear, no hesitation. Obviously there have been a little bit of a couple of fears along the way, especially when I'm thinking about draft 2 and all of the work that I'm gonna have to do for that project. But I recently, and by recently I do mean this morning, had a brainstorming session where I sat down and I was really thinking about a certain problem that I would have to fix in draft 2, and I just came up with an idea, and that idea expanded into a different idea. So now I have a pretty solid plan going into draft 2 for the first couple of chapters of this book, and I feel like that's just bolstering me, and it's making me want to get to the finish line of this book a lot faster. So that's what we're going to be doing in today's video. I don't think I'm going to actually be able to get to the finish line of this book in today's video. That would be crazy. Not going to happen. But I am going to be attempting to play catch up essentially with my word count. Forward momentum. It's what I want, it's what I need, it's what I'm going to be prioritizing over the next couple of days. That's enough intro, that's enough preamble. Let's get into the video. Hello, good morning. It is currently 11:25 a.m. I woke up a couple hours ago. I got myself some tea, and I've just been having a little bit of a slower morning getting into it. I watched a couple videos from my YouTube watch later list because that list is starting to get unmanageable. So I caught up on a couple of those videos, and I've just been having just a very chill morning. I did end up writing last night. I did not think I was going to. I thought that I was just gonna wait until today to like actually start, but I ended up writing 1,102 words, which brought my total word count up to, I have to squint, sorry, 27,285 words, which is pretty freaking good, especially because I didn't think I was gonna write anything yesterday. I'm currently in the middle of chapter 6, which if you watched my last video, I kind of went a little into depth about like what each chapter was kind of about, especially my inciting incident chapters, but I have since changed and like reordered and restructured a couple of my chapters. So everything I talked about in that video regarding structure, go ahead and ignore it. Go ahead and ignore it. In that video, I said that my inciting incident was going to be split into 2 parts. Part 1 for my MMC and then part 2 for my FMC. Or actually, no, flip it. Part 1 for my FMC and then part 2 for my MMC. And then in that video, I decided that I was going to actually split the 2 parts in half. So it was going to be part 1.1, 1.2, 2.1, 2.2. I have since cut that. It's not happening. It's back to being part 1 and part 2. Yeah, I circled back around. This project is in fact spinning me in circles. It's a little bit of a headache, but I feel like it's a worthwhile headache. But so far today I have added, wait, let me check, 252 words so far to the draft. That's pretty good. I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna be doing a couple of reading writing sprints, and which I did do 1 reading writing sprint yesterday, which if you don't know what that is, it's very self-explanatory. It's kind of like the Pomodoro technique where you spend a chunk of time working and then a chunk of time taking a break, but instead of working and then taking a break, it would be writing and then reading. Yesterday I did 1 of those sprints, and I actually started The Shadow of the Gods by John Gwynne. I got this is the Libby app, by the way. I'm only 11 minutes in. I'm literally 2% of the way in. Already love it. I already love it. I'm already so hooked. John Gwynne has hooked me. I need to finish this book. I need to finish this book. I need to get through it. But then also I am currently reading a physical book, The Secret World of Briar Rose. I am 60 pages into that one, and I'm reading it physically, so I have the actual book and I'm tabbing it. It's on my dresser. That's why I keep looking that way. I have been annotating and tabbing the heck out of this book. I'm enjoying it so much. I need a break from the epic high fantasy. I'll switch over to The Secret World of Briar Rose, which it's also a fantasy, but it's not as epic. Also, this is adult and that's YA, so there's like a different voice and like a vibe and a tone to it, so super excited. Let's just get into it, honestly. Like, I am itching to write right now. I'm currently in chapter 6, which is Inciting Incident Part 1. It's from my FMC's POV, and she is going through it. I have the first, actually, let me get the exact word count. 4,255 words is what I currently have in that chapter, which my chapters for this book are so long. They're so long. Oh my god. Which is unusual for me. I usually write like very fast, snappy chapters, so for it to be this long, it's kind of crazy. I'm currently 2/3 of the way through this chapter. Scene 1 is completely done. Scene 2, I have the first part done. I have to work on the second part, so after I finish that, then it'll be completely done. I'll be able to wrap it up. I wouldn't be surprised if this chapter hit 5K, which if it did, this would make it my longest chapter so far. These are some long chapters, dude. These are super long. It's kind of crazy. But yeah, let's get into it. My camera is dying, so I'm gonna put you on the charger and then I will update you guys later. Bye. Hi guys. Hello. A little bit of a different angle because I'm feeling very dejected right now. It is currently 1:33 p.m. and I have written exactly 2 more times. Let me grab my thing. So I've been tracking my sprints on this little sticky note, and I have written exactly 2 more times. Like I said, that first sprint I got 252 words and it was 20 minutes, and then sprint number 2 was 15 minutes and I got 146, and then sprint 3 was 10 minutes and I got 174, bringing my total up to 572 words and 27,857 words overall. And then I wrote sprint number 4 like I was gonna keep going. No, actually, I need a break. I need a break from this chapter. I need a break from this scene. Scene 2 is killing me, and I don't know why. I wish I had an explanation as to why I feel like this scene is killing me. Like, I feel like it's ripping my soul out of my body, throwing it on the ground, and then stomping it to death. What did I do to deserve that? Oh my god. I'm losing my mind. I feel like I'm losing my mind every time I go back into the scene and I try to continue it. It feels like if you've ever tried to like squeeze an almost empty bottle of honey and you can see it like slowly dripping down, you're like, okay, hurry up. That's what this scene feels like. It feels like I'm just trying to get through it to get to the end conclusion of this chapter, which is gonna be like a really big point in the book. It's my inciting incident, so obviously, but there's setup that I have to do for the inciting incident, and that setup part is driving me insane. It's driving me crazy. I don't know if it's because I'm getting caught up in like the details, like the insignificant, like the minutia of it all, right? The very insignificant little details that distract from the big picture, and I do feel like I'm getting caught up in the weeds. But there's something else. There's something else. There's a secret third thing that I can't figure out, and if I could just figure it out, I feel like I could fix it. I'm going crazy. I think I'm gonna break for lunch, and when I come back to it, I might be able to, I don't know, have some clarity on this. That's the update. Very sad update compared to how excited I was earlier on. Like, I'm just remembering how excited I was to get into writing, and I just feel so dejected now. Ugh, sick. I'm gonna go. Okay, I'll see you when I see you. For my second block of writing, I did switch to The Secret World of Briar Rose. Oh my god. I can't explain how beautiful it is until you see it in person. I'll read a couple lines out to you. I'll put a timestamp on screen. If you don't want any spoilers, you can skip ahead to that time. Her hands scorched in response. She reached slowly for his fur, her fingers stroking through hearth-spun browns. Beneath his coat she felt it, the cracks in his skin, the shards in her hands, the memory cutting into her like a knife. The gentle snow of this place was more frightening than the bitter cold of Gildan. It told her that she did not belong because she was not suffering. Oh my god. She was born a beautiful girl with a beautiful life. They told her she could become anything, and so she became nothing. I'm not afraid of my daughter dying, he said. I'm afraid of her growing up to be a coward. That's her father speaking, by the way. Oh my god. Okay, I will read one more quote out to you. It's on page 16. It's from Amelia's POV, and it reads, "In another life, she would rise with the sun and sleep with the stars and never feel alone." The sun is setting now, so the lighting might look a little weird, but hi, hello. It is now 7:31 p.m. I took a little bit of a longer break than I expected, but after my lunch, I went to the store and I came back home, and that took like a significant amount of time, but then I did also procrastinate writing, getting back into writing for like an hour and a half, just because I didn't want to do it. I felt so dejected, like I said earlier. I was just like so unmotivated, and I just didn't want to do it. But the thought of waking up tomorrow with finish chapter 6 scene 2 still on my to-do list got me up very quickly. I did do 2 more writing sprints. Sprint number 4, I got 173 words in 15 minutes, and then sprint 5, I got 233 words in 20 minutes. I have to remind myself that slow and steady progress is better than no progress at all, because if I don't, I'll lose it. I am still in the middle of scene 2, and earlier actually when I was driving around, I was thinking about what is it about this scene that is making me want to rip all of my hair out, and I think I might have like come up with an answer. Originally this was supposed to be an action scene, it was supposed to be really fast paced, but it turned out to be a lot slower because I was injecting a lot of Deha's like feelings and emotions and reactions to the action around her. Like in between the action moments I would like insert, okay, let's take a second and let me figure out what the main character is feeling in this moment. I think what I accidentally did is I layered a reaction scene over an action scene, which isn't bad in theory. Like melding the two types of scenes together isn't bad in theory, but I did it in a way that slowed down the overall pace of the chapter and made me want to rip all of my hair out. Trying to write it and trying to balance absolutely everything in this one scene and like trying to explore all of the different angles and like try to get every possible thing that was happening in the scene down on the page. So my FMC would like describe something that's happening over there, and then something would actually happen to her, so she would have to like react physically and then react with her thoughts and like react emotionally, and then she would have to do this and then do that and then this and this and this. It was just too much. It was too much. It was kind of like the conspiracy theory dude where I'm trying to like string all of the pieces together, but it's not working. I feel like I'm just wearing a tinfoil hat now. So I think that's what my problem was, but at this point I just need to get through it. I can't go back and like try to fix it, because if I go back I'm never leaving chapter 6. I'm gonna be stuck in this chapter forever and ever, and that's not what I want. Forward momentum, that's what I want. So I'm going to push through, really try and finish this chapter by the end of tonight and be done with it. Close it off, lock it, never look at it ever again until draft 2 where I have to face it. But that is a draft 2 issue. But okay, the sun is setting and tomorrow is the 4th of July, so the fireworks are gonna start soon. I am gonna go write the rest of this chapter and I will get back to you when the chapter is complete. Hopefully, inshallah. Okay, I'll see you then. I tried to wait out the fireworks, but it is 1:15 midnight now and they're not stopping. Like they stopped right now, but I promise you in the next like 2 minutes they'll start back up again. So I'm just gonna give you my update now, and hopefully the fireworks don't start back up until I finish my update. But I did end up finishing chapter 6. I will show you the very final. Oh, come on, focus. I finished the night with 3 sprints, and the last 2 sprints really carried. Sprint number 6 was 20 minutes and I got 360 words. Sprint 7 was 30 minutes and I got 682 words. And then sprint 8 was 30 minutes as well and I got 955 words, bringing my total word count for the day up to 2,975 words, and my cumulative word count up to 30,260 words. Round of applause. I can't clap because I have to hold my blanket hijab together. Listen, it's late in the night. I'm not putting on a hijab again. It's too much, so this is what you're gonna have to deal with, okay? I finished the chapter. I hit 30k. I got over 2,000 words for the day. I'm very happy with everything that I've done. Ended my writing session on a good note, which I'm very happy about, because the last thing that I wanted was to end my writing session and end my day on a bad note and then wake up tomorrow and be in a sour mood because of the torment that chapter 6 scene 2 put me through. I still can't believe I was tormented by a scene. That's wild. I didn't even realize that I hit 30k because, again, like I said, I was being tormented by a scene, so I didn't realize it until I went to go check my word count and I was like, oh, I hit 30k, which really big milestone. Very happy that I was able to do that. But that's it from me today. I will see you tomorrow. I don't know how it's gonna be tomorrow. If like the fireworks were this bad today, I can't even begin to imagine how bad the fireworks are gonna be tomorrow. I'm dreading it, honestly. Don't worry, we'll get through it together. Okay, I'll see you then. Bye. Oh, they're starting back up. I need to go. Okay, bye.
Makes you feel like Merker pudding, don't you?
How did you know?
You travel with someone for years and you pick up on things. I can just tell with you.
The sun is being a little fickle today, so if the lighting changes, I apologize for that. But hi, hello, it is Sunday now. It's actually 4:40 p.m. I took the day off from writing and filming yesterday, not on purpose. It was just how the cookie crumbled. I actually did plan on filming and writing yesterday, but when I picked up my camera to film an update, I got a notification that said my SD card was full, so I went to go empty it into my laptop, and then when I did that, I was like, oh, you know what I should do? I should be kind to future me, and I should just import all of the footage into my editing software right now, cut down on the work that I have to do later because I'm already here, so let me just do it. So I did that. I imported all of my footage, and then I saw that all of my footage combined came out to a runtime of 3 hours and 40 minutes. So I decided that I was just gonna edit the video. So then I was like, you know, I should be even kinder to my future self. I should do the rough cut. And then I was like, oh, I should make a thumbnail. And then I was like, oh, I should probably add in text. And then I was like, it was very much if you give a mouse a cookie type of situation. But then after I finished editing the first part of this video, it started storming. I'm talking rain, hail, thunder, lightning. It was really, really bad. I thought there weren't going to be any fireworks because of the rain, but I was sorely mistaken because the minute that it cleared up, oh my god, the fireworks that went off. I think the rain might have just egged them on because some of the fireworks that they set off were just so loud. Thank god that that's over with now. I'm sure they're gonna set off more fireworks tonight, but hopefully they'll wrap it up sooner rather than later. Honestly, I'm kind of hoping that they tired themselves out yesterday and they're not gonna do anything else today, but that's wishful thinking, I know it is. But as for writing updates, like I said on Friday, I finished chapter 6. I also ended up adding a scene to chapter 6. I don't think I told you this at the end of Friday, but yeah, the reason why my writing session ended off so good on Friday is because I finished scene 2 and then I had to add another scene to the end of chapter 6 to like actually finish it out, and I did that, and that scene was really easy for me. Like, it came very easily to me. It was a good way to end off my writing day on Friday. And then yesterday I didn't write anything. I think I wrote like 2 words and then I deleted 84 so I didn't write anything yesterday. But today I wrote 106 words so far today. I don't think I'm gonna do sprints like I did on Friday, just because I'm not really feeling the sprints today. I'm not really feeling the race to the finish line type of mentality that I had on Friday. My main goal this weekend was forward momentum, and I feel like I accomplished that. I finished chapter 6. I got to 30,000 words. Like, I'm very, very happy with my progress. But now that the first 6 chapters are done, I am entering into unknown, unfamiliar territory, because I started working on this book in November, the first iteration of this book, and then it was in January that I decided to scrap it and like try again because something about the original version wasn't working. So I took a couple months, and then in April I decided to try my hand at drafting again, and now we're here in July. And with the completion of chapter 6, I finished writing all of the familiar stuff to me. I finished writing all of the chapters that have been in my head since November, so now I'm entering unfamiliar territory. So chapter 7 is the first chapter that I'll be actually pantsing / discovery writing, so it'll be interesting to see what ideas I can pull into this chapter from like my list of brainstorming ideas that I've had since the conception of Project Swan Lake. Honestly, I have been just brainstorming nonstop. Every single month there's a new idea I come up with, so it'll be interesting to see what from that list of ideas I can pull into this chapter, and I can pull into this sort of next arc in this book. Even though, again, like I said, the structure of this book, weird. It doesn't really have acts because I don't really have a clear idea of where the acts end up. I thought I did at one point. I thought I knew how Act 1 was gonna like pan out, but I've gotten so many new ideas in the last like even 2 weeks that I can't say for certain what is and isn't going to be in this first act, what is and isn't going to be in the second or third part of this book, as well as the overall book, which is scary, but I think it'll be really interesting, especially when I come back to this draft later on. It'll be interesting to see how, like, where I started versus where I ended up, and like how I tried to bridge those gaps. But that's it for me. Thank you so much for spending time with me this weekend. I'll see you in the next one.